Hey guys, I'm making light drops. These are a very interesting tool that I have developed over a bit of time here in East Texas, and I'm using them primarily for land activations, but land clearings and blessings and that sort of work as well. There is a particular process for developing these, which I have experimented with over a little while now and really fine-tuned into a bit of an art form. And I'll include that process and that recipe here in this post in the comment section if you're interested to see yeah, how I prepare these. So I'll just show you. Obviously this bowl here that we're looking at is filled with very beautiful pieces of clear quartz. Most of these have full rainbows inside, which you may or may not be able to see. Some of them have some pristine clarity. You can see in this bowl here there's also a really nice piece of Larimar, which I've included in here, but that is the only other type of stone. The rest are all clear quartz. That's a particularly nice one. I don't know if you can see that. All of these particular crystals were hand mined by myself and my son in Arkansas, here in Texas in the US, and from a fairly large quantity of very lovely pieces that we collected from that mine, I have hand selected these individual pieces to be used as light drops. All of these were selected based on, I guess, energetic intuition first and foremost, but also their clarity, their capacity to hold rainbows, and their capacity to hold and reflect light in interesting ways, which means they have a natural capacity to have a relationship with light, which is what we're after, as well as the crystal clarity. The particular features on these as well are always very interesting, whether they have manifestors or various things going on. So all of these have been handpicked for this purpose, and the piece of Larimar was included as a form of bridging stone or bridging energy between what is a significantly higher vibration with the clear quartzes and a higher frequency earth energy. Because the purpose of these light drops and what we'll be using them for, or what I'll be using them for primarily, is in the East Texas cleanup project over the next few weeks, when I'll be doing some quite significant land clearings and work on land that is presently quite energetically toxic and or inhabited by funky energetic critters. And these tools are used, I guess, as a form of typical crystal grid, but they are activated and purpose, I guess, designed to work as light seeds, and they are planted in the ground in a systematic fashion, and they effectively act just like their name, like light drops, or like light seeds, and they will illuminate areas in the ground and work to anchor light in the physical ground, or really in any material you choose to put them in, I guess. It's just like throwing a big drop of light right at a black spot. That's exactly what they do. So you plant them in black spots, and you plant them strategically in black spots in an area. They can be very powerful in disrupting the, I guess, shadow or toxic element that has hold of the fabric of a space. And so part of this is to begin disrupting or creating a disharmonious frequency in the space which is attempting to dislodge the non-native energies and the toxic energies from the inherent natural environment and the natural physical space itself. So these are just one of the many tools that we use to do that. They are prepared over, well, at least a week, generally no more than 2, and they are prepared under a full moon, or prepared at the start of a full moon. So all of these crystals have been specially cleansed and washed and cleared as per usual crystal clearing format. You would just use nice clean water. You would use some smudging and some smoke as well. Any of your standard cleaning tools, some salt or some clean earth element is always a nice idea. All of the above, really, whatever you want to do just to clean and clear your crystals. And then they were also further cleared and activated and charged under a full moon. And so that would sit then from day 1 of the 3-day full moon, and we would generally put them out the first afternoon or evening of the first night of the 3 full moons. The water in here in particular is really just as clean and as naturally clear as you can get. Obviously we're not drinking it, there's no nutritional purpose, but there is always energetic purpose, and the purpose of this is to be able to raise above and remove critters and nasty things and things that are otherwise toxic. So we don't want to be letting them settle in germ-filled or bacteria-filled water. That's not the idea. So ideally we're going to be using as cleaner, fresh, naturally sourced water as we can. And from the night of the first full moon, they will sit out there exposed in that full moon light. And then the next day, and once a day, every day after that, that water will be changed. And so that water is obviously quite charged and may be used for a whole range of different purposes. I use them to water some other plants in the garden because it's pretty nice water for other plants to receive. And once I have tipped that water out, I make sure that all sediment and anything whatsoever out of the bowl is removed as well. And then I put the bowl back under the hot tap in the sink, and I wash them, and I sort of tumble them with my fingers, and I just clear them and cleanse them with the running water. Even though tap water is obviously not the cleanest water possible, it is the best water to use to wash and clear something. So just for about a minute or two, I turn the hot water on specifically, and I just let that hot water, as hot as my hands can manage, just rush through and clear and fill and overspill in that bowl. And I just keep tumbling those crystals, and then eventually just clear all of that water out of that bowl, making sure there's all sediment and everything completely gone other than just washed crystals. And then I'll refill it again with that water, let it sit for another minute just in the tap water, and then wash it out again and do one final rinse. After that, I'll then use filtered water, I'll use stream water, natural mineral water, whatever I can find. There's ideally not tap water. Again, it's not for nutritional purposes, but there is a tremendous amount of bacteria and introduced chemicals in our tap water, and that's ideally not what we want in the nature and energy of these crystals. So we use something as close to natural spring or mineral water as we can. So once all of those have been completely cleaned, I'll then refill that bowl with the highest quality water I can find, and I'll replace them back out into the sunlight and let them re-soak up the sunlight again until obviously the second night when it is full moon, and then the third day we repeat the same process again, leaving it out again, and we repeat that process once a day in terms of the washing and replenishing of that water into clean water. We do that once a day from 1 week to 2 weeks. From my experience, I would suggest no more than 2 weeks, but definitely at least a week is a good amount of time. And from that moment onwards, these crystals are now stored, activated, and are permanently remaining clear and light in water. They can no longer be out of water and must stay in water at all times. And so you will see this jar here. My plan for this at this stage is to hand select just a couple of crystals now, maybe 5 or 6, to use for an individual site that I'll be attending next week to do some cleanup work, and I will pour some of that water and those individual crystals into that bottle, and that will be my tool that I will take with me to the site that I visit, and then I'll continue to take individual portions from there. So that's how I'll draw from that. At other times I have individually portioned these out in individual containers, anywhere from 5 to 7 at a time, usually do it per site depending on how large the site might be. And of course, as long as those crystals remain in water, they will remain permanently light and active forever and a day. But the idea to reactivate or re-energize them is that from the time that you want to use them, as close to the time as that you physically take them out and remove them, obviously on site remove the seal, use the water in some capacity and in some useful capacity because it has been sitting with those light drops the entire time, but make sure you drain that entire lot of water out and quite quickly refill your bottle with as clean and natural source water as you can, and just give the crystals a bit of a swoosh around. If you can run that water over them, it's like just turning them on. They will reactivate and re-energize and turn into 100% light drops, and you will see the crystal clarity will improve immediately. The rainbows will all pop back out again, and they will be high frequency, high potency tools of light to put into yucky black toxic spots. And off you go. Just wanted to share what I'm doing. Very effective tool process. As I said, I've given you a bit of an intro, but I will give you the proper process in the comment section here of exactly how I do it. And I learnt this process by experimenting to find out the very best way to get the very best product to produce the very best results, and go nuts, do what you can and experiment as well and see what you can learn. If you know of anything like this, or if you do of anything or do have a go at this, please let us know how you go, and tell us what results that you have and in what capacity you use them. So thanks guys, just wanted to share what I do on a random Tuesday afternoon. Blessings. Talk to you again all soon.